I felt the rush before I realized I'd stopped breathing. Blood tingled at the tips of my fingers as I held a sleek brass keycard between them, the key to a place I had dreamed, designed, and raised out of bare earth and scaffolding. The wind coming off the bay curled around the marble columns of the entrance like it knew this building, like it recognized me. This wasn't just any hotel. This was the Solara Meridian, the crown of the harbor city of Porto Estrella, and the anchor of everything I had built. And there I was, standing outside. Not because I'd forgotten my key, but because my own family blocked the door. My older sister, in all her practiced poise, leaned against the glass entrance like a guard appointed by fate itself. "Luisa," she said my name like it tasted sour, "you're not actually planning to go in, are you?" She tilted her chin, adjusting a glittering clutch under her arm. My sister's name, at least the name she answers to now, is Clarissa. And in our family, Clarissa is the one who never doubts she belongs anywhere. Behind the glass doors, laughter thundered out like waves, my mother's friends, my cousins, and my father, celebrating his 65th birthday in my hotel, in my ballroom, under the chandeliers I'd personally chosen from Venice. But I was the one outside. A familiar ache crawled up my ribs. And still, my voice came out steady. "Clarissa, please move. I'm going in." She laughed softly, the way people laugh when they think they're doing you a favor by embarrassing you. "This isn't one of your, what do you call them now, projects. This is the Solara Meridian. The tasting menu costs more than your monthly income, Luisa. We're not doing this tonight." Monthly income. If only she knew. The envelope in my hands suddenly felt heavier. Inside it, a signed document transferring ownership of a beachfront villa in Santorini Bay, a gift I had flown halfway across the globe to give. But we'll come back to that. You should know who I am before this story wanders too far. My name is Luisa Marin. I am 41 years old. I am the founder and CEO of Meridian Haven Group, a global hospitality company. This is the story of how I finally walked into a room I'd already owned for years. 10 years earlier, I left my family's steady, sensible accounting firm in the inland city of San Aurelio. My father said, "No daughter of mine is throwing away a respectable career to play hotel." Play hotel. Funny word. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just went quiet. And then I went to work. Brick by brick. Contract by contract. Sleepless nights. Unreturned calls. Loans everyone said were too risky. I built something no one thought I could. While my family thought I was scraping by managing some small and near a highway exit, I was securing land rights on 3 continents. While they imagined me carrying trays, I was signing international partnerships. While they were pitying me, I was becoming the owner of 27 luxury properties around the world. But tonight, according to my sister, I couldn't afford to enter my own lobby. The doors pushed open and my mother appeared like stage curtains parting. Her perfume arrived before her words. "What on earth are you doing here, Luisa?" "We spoke about this." No. They spoke about this. This morning, she had sent a short text, cold as polished glass. "Don't come. It's too exclusive. Don't embarrass your father." I held up the small ivory envelope. "I brought a gift." Clarissa smirked. "What is it? Discount coupons? A fruit basket?" Her eyes traveled over my simple navy dress, quiet, elegant, custom-made in Lisbon. To my mother, simplicity is the same as poverty. She nodded, already dismissing me. "Your sister's gift is more appropriate," she announced. "She just closed a major case. She bought your father something of real value." Real value. The irony almost made me laugh. Her firm's new office? The one she bragged about at every dinner? They were leasing it. From me. From behind them, the sound of a throat clearing. My brother-in-law, Matteo, stepped forward, already loosening his tie like the room was bending toward him. "Oh," he said when he saw me. "Didn't expect you here." You already said that, I replied gently. My mother's lips thinned. Louisa, don't start. Start what? Existing? Clarissa folded her arms across her glittering dress, the same dress she claimed came from a Milan runway. It didn't. I knew because the designer was at breakfast with me last month, laughing over imitations flooding the market. You're not coming in, she declared. The top terrace is reserved for family and distinguished guests only. Family. Distinguished guests. Whatever word they had for me clearly wasn't on either list. Then something shifted. The automatic doors slid open with a sigh and a familiar figure emerged, tall, composed, a man who had been there since my first hotel's opening night. Miss Marine, he said formally, with the slightest bow. Your suite is ready. The executive chef is waiting for your approval on the menu. Silence swallowed the entrance whole. My sister blinked. My mother's hand slipped from the door handle. This man, Javier, my head of security, turned to them politely. Is there a problem? Our owner was delayed. Owner. There it was. The word my family never imagined belonged beside my name. I breathed. Yes, I said. I'm staying. And I walked past them, not shoving, not pushing, just existing, and the building welcomed me like home always does. The concierge straightened. The musicians paused. Every staff member greeted me. Good evening, Ms. Marine. Welcome back, Ms. Marine. Not out of fear. Out of respect we had earned together. Because I had washed dishes with them. Carried luggage beside them. Listened to them. And then I built something where they all mattered. We reached the private elevator, my elevator, accessible only by a thin onyx key that slid into place with a soft click. Clarissa stared at it as if it were magic. Your dress, my mother whispered, really seeing it for the first time. From a friend, I said simply. I stopped checking what things cost. The elevator opened into the Sky Lounge, the party already in motion, strings of warm light spilling across the glass. Conversation stopped mid-sentence. And then. My father rose. He looked older than he had any right to look, and suddenly I was 10 again, holding his tools while he fixed creaky doors no one else had time to fix. Louisa, why are you here? His voice trembled. Your mother said you couldn't afford it. The room laughed politely around him. They didn't know yet. I did not make a speech. I walked up to him and kissed his cheek. Happy birthday, Papa. He blinked. Your hotel, someone murmured. And then the realization spread like light. A banker I'd met only through email all but sprinted toward me. Ms. Marine. You're the Marine who owns Meridian Haven Group. Another couple joined. You're the one expanding into Dubai. Voices piled, admiration layering over shock. My mother sat slowly, like gravity had doubled. My sister collapsed into silence. My father gripped the edge of the table. All this time, he whispered. You built this? I nodded. Yes. And then the simplest truth of my life slipped free. You told me I couldn't. You told me I shouldn't. So I went and did it quietly. He opened his mouth, closed it again. I set the envelope in front of him. That is the deed to a villa overlooking the white cliffs of Santorini Bay. It's yours. From the daughter you were ashamed of. For a long moment, no one moved. Then conversations cracked open again, rushing toward me, the very people who once pretended I was invisible suddenly eager for meetings, lunches, investments. I smiled, listened, but my heart wasn't with them. Later, I found my father on the balcony, the city spread below us like spilled stars. How many of these buildings are yours? He asked. Enough, I said softly. But the number was never the point. He swallowed. I was wrong. Yes, I answered, just as softly. You were. He nodded, tears filling the edges of his eyes. Can you forgive me? I thought about it, not out of cruelty, but honesty. Forgiveness? I said. That came years ago. Respect, that's what took time. He nodded again. I'm proud of you, Louisa. I looked at him, at the man who gave me stubbornness, and smiled. I know. And now you finally mean it. That night, I walked through the halls of the Solara Meridian alone. I touched the railings. The pillars. The walls we had once argued over paint colors for. I remembered construction dust in my hair, bank rejections in my inbox, friends who left when success wasn't instant, and nights where the only person who believed in me was me. And then, somewhere between the quiet and the view, something loosened. I stopped needing them to approve of me. I already belonged here. This place was not my victory, it was my voice. The party ended, but the echoes stayed long after the music faded. There is a strange quiet that settles on a hotel after midnight, even the chandeliers seem to exhale. Guests retreat to suites, kitchens hum into silence, and the building becomes what it truly is, a heart beating in the dark. I didn't go straight to bed. I walked. Past the balconies where strangers confessed love. Past hallways where arguments whispered behind closed doors. Past elevators that knew everyone's secrets. I stopped outside the ballroom door, the one my family had insisted I didn't belong behind just hours ago. A memory brushed past me like a gust. A younger me, apron knotted clumsily, hair tied back, hands raw from work, watching other people belonging so easily in rooms I could only clean. She didn't know what would come. But she kept walking forward anyway. I whispered to her in my mind. You made it. You did it. And for the first time in years, I actually believed it. The next morning, the city was still yawning awake when my phone began buzzing. Messages. Dozens. My assistant, Mara. Board wants an emergency meeting. The news leaked. A headline from a finance blog glowed back at me. Reclusive CEO of Meridian Haven revealed during father's birthday, family stunned at revelation. Of course it leaked. Rooms full of important people leak faster than sinking ships. I took a breath, annoyance mingled with relief. I was done hiding. By noon I was in the executive conference room on the 32nd floor. Floor-to-ceiling glass. The sea stretching out like a promise. My leadership team was already waiting, the architects of this life with me. Not my family by blood, but by effort. Carlos, head of development. Mara, my assistant who had been there since my second hotel, when my office was a repurposed storage closet. Javier stood discreetly near the wall. They looked worried. I smiled. It's all right, I said. The truth just arrived earlier than scheduled. Carlos leaned forward. Investors will ask questions. They will want to know if family drama means instability. And for a fraction of a moment, I almost laughed. Family drama? That was my first language. There is no instability, I said gently. There is clarity. They exhaled in unison, the kind of breath you only release when you trust someone. And I realized something. They believed in me without needing me to prove anything. That still surprises me sometimes. 3 days passed before my sister called. Not texted. Called. I watched the screen light up, Clarissa, and for several seconds I simply held the phone and listened to it ring. Then I answered. Her voice was very small. Louisa, are you busy? I could have told her yes. I could have wrapped myself in work like armor, I've done it many times. But something in her tone wasn't arrogance, it was fracture. I have time, I said. We met in the hotel cafe, neutral ground, though it was still mine. She arrived before me. No designer glitter this time. No audience. Just my sister with tired eyes and makeup she hadn't bothered to perfect. She didn't speak at first. She just stared at me as if seeing a photo that didn't match the story she had been told. Finally. Why didn't you tell me? Not angry. Confused. Wounded, even. I stirred my tea slowly. Because you weren't listening back then, I answered softly. And I was tired of shouting my dreams into rooms where they were treated like jokes. Her eyes filled with tears. I was awful to you. Yes, I said. I didn't rescue her from the truth. You were. She nodded, swallowing. My whole life I was told I was the successful one, she whispered. The example. The golden daughter. And you were, she stopped. The warning, I finished for her. She looked at me, surprised I said it out loud. That wasn't your fault entirely, I continued. But it didn't make it hurt less. Tears finally slipped despite her trying to blink them away. Do I still have a place in your life? She asked, barely audible. There it was. The question that hides inside every family conflict. Do you still want me? I reached across the table and took her hand. Yes, I said. But not in the role you used to play. And not in the role I used to accept. She nodded. We sat there, two grown women, two wounded children, holding the same table and rewriting a story neither of us asked to inherit. My mother took longer. Mothers often do. She came 2 weeks later, not with perfume and posture, but with shaking shoulders and a photo album under her arm. May I come in? She asked at my office door. She had never been there before. She had never once stepped into my world unless it was to pull me out of it. Yes, I said. She sat across from me and opened the album without ceremony. Me in pigtails. Me at graduations. Me asleep on the sofa clutching hotel brochures at age 12. I didn't recognize you, she whispered, staring not at the photos, but at me. You kept becoming someone new while I kept talking to the old version. Her lips trembled. I was afraid. Not for your reputation. For your pain. I believed if you failed, it would break you. So I tried to stop you from trying. I leaned back. Fear disguised as control. Love wearing the wrong costume. We sat in the thick quiet between apology and forgiveness. I'm not asking you to forget, she said. Just, teach me who you are again. If you're willing. That one sentence undid more knots than all her excuses. I am willing, I said. She cried then, not politely, not socially, real tears that left mascara like inked confession on her cheeks. And for the first time in years, I hugged her without resentment standing between us. Not every relationship healed. My brother-in-law Matteo never called. Some people love you only when you're smaller than them, and shrink away when you don't cooperate. That's all right. I learned long ago that not everyone who starts your story gets to finish it. Weeks later, I returned to the terrace where it had all come undone, and then come together. The city lights fluttered like scattered fireflies. I thought about everything I had chased. Success. Freedom. Proving them wrong. Proving myself right. And I realized something quiet but enormous. I wasn't building hotels to escape my family. I was building because I loved creating places where people belonged. I just hadn't known I was also one of those people. I rested my hands on the railing. Some rooms are locked from the outside. Some are locked from the inside. And some only open when you finally say, I deserve to be here. This story isn't about revenge. Or triumph over doubters. Or dramatic reveals in ballrooms. It is about learning to stop asking for permission to exist. My name is Louisa Marine. I am still walking into rooms I once thought were not for me. And now, when I arrive at the door, I no longer wait for anyone to open it. I already have the key. If this story spoke to something inside you, if you've ever felt underestimated, overlooked, or told you didn't belong in the very life you dreamed of living, then don't let it end here. Let this be the moment you choose yourself the way Louisa chose herself. If you felt inspired, encouraged, or strengthened in any way, please take a moment to like this video. It may seem small, but it tells the platform that stories like this matter, that voices like yours and mine deserve to be heard. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss the next chapters, stories, and messages of hope, healing, courage, and quiet strength. When you subscribe, you're not just adding another channel to your list, you're joining a community of people who are learning to stand up, reclaim their worth, and walk boldly into rooms they once believed were closed to them. And if you know someone, a friend, a sister, a brother, a parent, or even a coworker, who needs to be reminded of their value, their dreams, and their right to take up space in this world, please share this video with them. You never know, your share might be the spark that helps them keep going. Comment below and tell us what part resonated with you most, or where you are in your own journey of becoming. Your words may be exactly what someone else needs to read today. So once again, like if this touched your heart. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what comes next. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And most of all, thank you for choosing yourself, today and every day forward.